Hey there, Business 111 students. I'm just taking a quick moment here to make this recording where I describe the final larger assignment in our class, the business area report. So here's a little bit of information about that. One thing I will say in terms of time management to keep in mind is that this assignment does take a little bit longer. We're going to spread it out over several weeks, and you will be able to work on this at the same time that we're working on our other regularly scheduled assignments. So here's some information if you'd like to follow along with the slides. There is a detailed sheet that describes all of this. It's posted in Canvas. Today, I'm going to just go through this here in slide format to kind of hit the highlights that you might want to take note of. This assignment is a chance for you to just dive in a little bit deeper to a topic that interests you. It could be the same topic that you researched when you were working with your partner for the business area presentation. I realize too, you might have a change in topic, and so you could write about something else instead. Really, just as long as you can connect it back to business, it's fair game as far as topics go. I would take note of the due dates here. It's going to have a number of due dates along the way, and so you'll want to be able to keep up here. The first one being a topic proposal where you also explain your plans for interviewing someone to provide some information about the assignment that you're working on. We'll have first drafts due it should be here, I think, the week before Thanksgiving break, and then do come back and then spend the remaining time in class to finish up the report, do some peer response, and allow you to have a final draft of your report on the last day of the last week of classes, which is December 1st. One note on the credit for this class, or excuse me, for the assignment is that there's 1,000 points available in the class, 100 points available for this assignment, and it's spread out across those three deliverables. But just note that being 100 points, it's the largest assignment, so it does count for 10% of your grade in this class. As far as the specifics, it's going to be about 4 to 6 pages long. The real range that I'm focused on is 1,000 to 1,500 words. Sometimes students have a lot more to write about, and that's fine if it goes over that. But if it's coming in under that, that's a time to maybe do some more research and keep working on it. You'll want to format this as a formal report, and we'll spend time in class talking about these various pieces, how to build in a title page, how to make sure you have page numbers, how to use heading levels, and maybe even table of contents. We'll have that in future lessons. You'll also want to be sure to include at least one image or figure or graph or table. If you're good with data visualizations, this is your time to shine. This is a way to break up the text block and have some other information there. You'll also want to be really careful about the sources that you use, making sure that they're credible sources and that you're documenting them carefully, both in the text of your report using in-text citations and on a references page at the end. Again, we'll talk about strategies for doing that. I do want to emphasize that if you're going to use ChatGPT or any other AI tool, it does need to be treated like any other source. You do need to write about how you're using it and make that citation visible in your works cited page. Also in the report, you'll want to have a section where you describe the basic area of business. This one, if you're doing it on the same topic that you presented on in the presentation, you probably already have a good start on this. Introducing it for someone who maybe isn't very familiar. You'll also want to have a section where you write about an interview that you conduct with some kind of person in business or a professional who has some information about the topic, and basically use what they've had to say as a source of information to support the claims that you're making. There's also going to be a section where you talk about, assuming this is an area you're interested in long-term, the kinds of skills that would be necessary in order to work in the area. And you can think about this both as skills that you get through academic classes, but also about places like workplaces or other jobs you've maybe had where you've been able to pick up skills along the way that are outside of the school system. So that will be a section to describe. There's also a section where you will explain why it is that this interests you. So it's one thing to say what the topic is, maybe marketing, a lot of you have expressed interest in, but you'll also want to be clear, what is it about marketing specifically that interests you? And these are the sections that might differentiate this assignment from other research-based reports that you've done. This is going to be subjective. This is going to be personal. My goal really is that this is going to make it personally significant for you. So this can be a chance for you to learn about something that actually interests you and hopefully be of value to you after you leave the class and move on. There's also going to be a section where you think about yourself in time. So both your past self, where were you 3 to 5 years ago before today? And what kind of information do you think that previous version of you would have benefited from knowing about? I realize this is a bit of a thought experiment and one that might take some effort. Don't worry, we'll talk about it in class and you'll have a chance to work it out with each other. And if looking backward is one part of the kind of projection, the other piece is looking into the future and thinking about where do you see yourself in the future, 3 to 5 years from now? Doing in order to get there. It's a place where, if you want, you can be setting goals or making professional plans. So the main deliverable I focus on first is the topic. This is one short page. What topic do you want to work on? How do you plan on conducting your research to learn more about that topic? Do think about who you might want to interview. This does take time, so get started on that early if you can. And what questions would you want to ask the person you're interviewing? Why those questions? What makes them significant? We'll connect this to the readings that we're doing in class. And the strategies that we're sharing to conduct. Well, I mentioned one more thing here I'll say, just as we wrap this one out, keep in mind these dates. If you use a schedule, I really encourage you to do that. Friday the 3rd is the topic proposal, and then working through November to the 20th of November is that first draft. We'll do peer response on it. You'll hopefully get a little time for the break where you don't have to worry about the paper because you've already got your draft done. When we come back after Thanksgiving break, you can finish it out and have that final draft done by the end of the semester. Go ahead and wrap this up here and say, if you have questions, definitely do let me know. But I hope that this is helpful, and I hope that you get to do research on a topic that really interests you. I certainly enjoy reading about the things that you find engaging, and I appreciate the chance to learn alongside with you. Thanks.